Well, certainly a beautiful day it is. It's Monday, the 13th day of December 2021, and we thank God as usual for how far He has brought us from the beginning of the year up until now. We have about 12 days more to observing Christmas Day, 25th December, and we pray that whatever you have set your heart and your mind to, far as it is pleasing in the sight of the Lord, shall come to fruition. My name is Reginald Adi, and welcome to another edition of AM Ghana here on Adoatv Television. It's been a while, yes. I took the show on from this point. A very good morning to the entire crew. Mr. Libby Joshua and Nanyama Collising for the AM News. Well, certainly we're going to give you some more updates and information this morning. Obviously, political reps will be passing through, and this morning we're talking about dental care. Now, they say that the glory of your appearance is in a smile. Now, have you ever imagined if your smile ever pushes people back instead of drawing them closer to you? Well, that is because you may have not taken good care of your teeth. Yes, those enamel, beautiful stones, if you want to put them in your mouth. And we'll be talking about how to get yourself, your teeth, how to take care of them, how to get yourself poised for a proper smell, so that when the photographers say 66 or banchi or they say cheese, you smile with confidence, knowing that you have taken good care of your teeth. Well, I don't know how your weekend went. My weekend was certainly great. Well, I was able to go to church, and yes, in the Anglican calendar, we are in the season of Advent, and yesterday I was there. It's all about love, and the preaching is all about love, love, love. Now, yesterday I received a preaching from my priest, and he shared a story with us that I want to share with you. He says that when he was parish priest of one of our parishes in Accra, St. Barnabas Parish in Osu, that he observed some two birds that, embarked on their ritual. I don't know what your ritual is every day, but these birds had a ritual. Every day, two birds will come sit on the roof as the gutter of the roof, which had accumulated some water, perhaps from the dew of the midnight into the morning. And it says when the two birds get there, one comes earlier before the other one comes. And when the first bird gets there, it would tweet. It has a main sound of tweeting. And Reverend says that he took his time to understand what the tweeting could mean. And it simply means that I love you. And the other bird responded, prove it. Now, the basis of this story is that if you love someone, just ensure that you prove it. There is no worth in love that you keep within yourself. So Mondays like this, you would want to go out there and perhaps embark on some business and get on about your daily activities. But I bet you that if you would inculcate love in everything that you do, certainly everything else that you touch shall be a blessing. Anything and everything. Obviously, anything that is not going to put the life of somebody else in a detriment, and anything that is not going to pose a harm to yourself, and anything that is not displeasing in the sight of the Lord. As you lay your hands on this morning, may it be fruitful. May your week be fruitful as well. Well, we'll be giving you some newspaper headlines in just about a few minutes. But before then, I want to remind you that come a Friday, Adoatv will be holding its second edition of the 9 lessons in carols here at the forecourt of the Bishop's Court here in Accra, on the John Evans Tamils High Street, where our studio is also located. We are inviting each and every one of you, as we will also be daring to raise funds to support some children's homes this Xmas. Of course, we'll be observing Xmas this month, and whether you like it or not, you are going to be alive in the name of Jesus to celebrate and observe Xmas with us. Now, the thing is that whilst I pray for you for the strength that you observe Xmas, how are these orphans in these orphanage homes going to observe their Xmas? Certainly, it's going to be in the confines of the orphanage where they find themselves. These are people who do not have mothers and fathers like you and I have, except for the foster parents and the caretakers in the orphanage homes. Would you dare to be their Father Christmas, or for this time, a Mother Christmas for these children in these times? Join Adoatv Television as we decide to put a smile on the faces of these children. And on this note, Joshua, let's see the promo once again. So that those who would want to contribute via Momo and also to get some other information on the Carols Night and the intended donation can get some more information. Let's check this out.
Unto us a child is born, Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. Come join Adoatv Television as we celebrate our guest for Christmas with hymns and carols. Date is 17th December 2021. Time is 5:30 p.m. sharp, and the venue is the Holy Trinity Cathedral Anglican Church Car Park on the Accra High Street. Invited guests include Right Reverend Dr. Daniel Silvanus Mensah Torto, Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Accra, Her Excellency Stephen Sullivan Sanders, USA Ambassador to Ghana, Her Excellency Janet Grace Mason, South African High Commissioner in Ghana, and many other dignitaries. Music performances: TM Cube from Tema, Minister Terry Johnson, and Reverend Father Ebenezer O.K. Clotty. Remember, there will be a fundraiser to support orphanage homes this Christmas, so kindly come and support this worthy cause. Adoatv TV's 9 lessons and carols. Oh, let us out, Christ our Savior is born. Remember, all COVID-19 protocols will be observed.
Hello Ghana, hello everyone, greetings to you from Adoatv. Christmas is here again and we are ready to receive our Lord Jesus to make merry with family and friends and all our loved ones. But what of the underprivileged and the homeless? Well, good news is Adoatv is visiting orphanage homes this festive season to celebrate the birth of Christ. And as the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 19 verse 17, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord. We humbly ask you to partner us, put smiles on the faces of these underprivileged ones this Christmas, and God will bless you. Kindly send all cash donations to MTN mobile money number 0591 557789 with the name Adwa Media Consult. Call us on 0246 375 837 to pick all other donations. God richly bless you as you give to support the underprivileged this Christmas.
Give them the best love you can. Save a child today. Give them the best meal you can. Send your
And so join the Adoatv caravan as we prepare ourselves, our minds, bodies, souls, and spirits to go put a smile on the faces of our dear brothers and sisters who find themselves in the orphanage homes. You can do this, and we can certainly only do this with your help. Of course, we'll be joined in by special guests like the most Reverend Dr. Daniel Silvanus Mensah Torto, who is the Anglican Bishop of Accra, the Right Reverend. And then we'll have the ambassadors. So we have Her Excellency Stephanie Sullivan from the United States of America's Embassy in Ghana. We'll also have Her Excellency Isa Kotira Kirabo from Rwanda as well. We're having Her Excellency Madame Jeanette Mason, my very own friends, will be joining in on that very day. So you don't want to miss it on Friday. Come in, let's celebrate Christ, let's sing hymns of praise in appreciation to the Son who was born to take away the sins of the world. And perhaps on that day, shall pray for the forgiveness of our sins as well. Well, don't go anywhere. I'll come right back to give you the newspaper headlines. Well, could there ever be a day without news? It's been a well-packed weekend. We heard from the president himself when he was at Tamale, speaking on free SHS. We heard from the Director General of the Ghana Health Service on COVID-19, amongst other things. And most of these are well captured in the Daily Graphic and other newspapers. I'll begin with the Daily Graphic, of course, truth and accuracy every day. Unvaccinated arrivals at Kotoka International Airport to take COVID-19 jabs. Unvaccinated arrivals at Kotoka International Airport to take COVID-19 jabs. So if you're a traveler within these times, having taken effect from midnight 12 December 2021, if you happen to disembark any flight into Ghana and you have not been vaccinated, first you're a Ghanaian, you will be forced to take the vaccines. I said that, there is no scare about the vaccines. Make sure that you are well vaccinated and fully vaccinated, and you would perhaps stand a chance of, foregoing most of these troubles, because statistics is showing that in far as the COVID-19 variant, the new variant Omicron is concerned, people who are not vaccinated stand a chance 3 times the susceptibility of coming into contact with Omicron. So get yourself vaccinated to reduce how prone or how susceptible you are to contracting the new variant. However, if you've been vaccinated, it is not sure guarantee that you will not acquire a variant. All the same, this is a directive from Kotoka International Airport. 34 cases of Omicron recorded in Ghana already. So this is just a fair advice for myself to you, and ensure that you are vaccinated as well. Now, that's a story on page 16. On page 16 again, another story. 15,000 rape cases annually. 15,000 rape cases annually. WSU describes as alarming. 15,000 rape cases. Like, what is happening? 15,000 rape cases annually. How? Why? I don't. Anyway. Another story here, page 70, and don't be surprised. Well, the Daily Graphic always has it, mostly on a Monday, very hefty like that. Access Bank builds capacity of SMEs in the Western region. The big story here, free SHS is success, says His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he was speaking at the 70th anniversary of the Tamale Senior High School over the weekend. Now, the Tamale Senior High School is the alma mater of the Vice President, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, and the school is 70 years old. They did well in the NSMQ, only that they couldn't qualify to the very finals. Amazing squad they have over there. The back page of the Daily Graphics, they call it Daily Graphics Sports. Faisal buys Sharks to jump to top spot. Another one here, Kerala devour Lions 3-0. That's it for sports on the back page. Now, the center spread of the Daily Graphic, which I'm tempted to look at, has a, should I say, a representation. Nice and beautiful pictures of the 8th edition of the Ghana Oil and Gas Awards. Ghana Oil and Gas Awards. And we have pictures of some of the dignitaries who won some awards in there. Congratulations to all of them. Quite a hefty paper on a Monday morning, very usual. Grab a copy for yourself and read into the stories in there. Now, away from the daily graphic, let's look at the daily guide. Confusion over WASSCE results. Now, this is going in clear contradiction, or clear contrast, not contradiction, contrast to the president's pronouncement that this year's WASSCE results. I don't know where the inconsistencies or the inaccuracies or the accuracies from the side of the president is coming from, but certainly this is one of the most controversial WASSCE results ever. Parents are blaming invigilators. Some parents are also blaming teachers. Most Ghanaians are blaming free SHS. The current administration is indicating, that is the presidency is indicating, that there is nothing wrong. This is one of the best WASSCE results. The second batch of the Akufo-Addo graduates haven't done so well. So you ask, who is on top of issues here? Minister for Education, Dr. Educhum, indicated some time ago that mathematics results had dipped and that they were going to conduct investigations into it. So if having dipped in a subsequent year to a previous year, that was quite, awesome, then how are we praising these year's WASSCE results so much? Anyways, integrity needed for mining sector regulation, says Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo. The story is on page 6 of the Daily Guide. Now, the previous story on confusion over WASSCE results is on page 3 of the Daily Guide. PAFAG supports tax reduction. That's a story on page 6 of the Daily Guide. NPP gets tough on aspirants at Congress. They say no campaigning at the Congress. This is a story on page 3 of the Daily Guide. Now, the big story here, free SHS critics shamed with eggs on their faces. Free SHS critics shamed with eggs on their faces, says Nana. The story is on page 3, and eggs on their faces is just an expression. It doesn't mean that they are applying cosmetics, as our women have it. Like Mary Texton would always wake up in the morning and apply egg and sandwich and other things on her face just for the freshness of it. Eggs on their faces means that they are ashamed. Now, the back page of the Daily Guide, Eto takes over Cameroon football. They say that four-time African Football of the Year, Samuel Eto, was elected president of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, on Saturday. And congrats to the old soccer star. Milo names, or Milo if you want, names AFCON squad. So if you want to know the squad, grab a copy of the Daily Guide and read into it. AFCON fear hits Liverpool. And that's another story on the back page of the Daily Guide. Let me see. Okay, further interesting stories in the center spread of the Daily Guide. Rocky Davuni fails at Grammy celebration concert. Rocky Davuni, one of Ghana's greatest prides when it comes to the music industry, especially in his nominations to the Grammys. This is his second nomination, and it is quite interesting. He rocked the plus 233 Jazz Bar and Grill in Accra over the weekend, and you should have been there to experience that concert. Wandiko exits from my label. Wandiko's exit from my label hurts me, and that's coming from Don Jazzy. Dr. Dre celebrates being divorced. AF. I don't know what AF means. Iona Rani to drop Jaime. Now, interesting stories on the in the center spread of the Daily Guide. If you'd grab a copy for yourself and read into them, perhaps you would get some more information. Let's move away from the Daily Guide, look at another newspaper, the Ghanaian Times, the most authoritative newspaper. On page 7 of the Ghanaian Times, Operation Clean Your Frontage is set to take off with 27 heavy-duty truck drivers. A story on page 7 indicated earlier. We have a picture of Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. What is he saying in here? He says that government to construct 35 STEM SHSs and 5 varsities. The story is on page 18 of the Guinean Times. Now, integrity is pivotal in combating illegal mining. This is also on page 17. Says the Lands Minister, integrity is pivotal in combating illegal mining. Lands Minister, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapor. The big story here: President touts free SHS success, slams critics, saying, "I am proud of policy and its results." Stories on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times. Now we move to the back page. Maiden First Ladies Cup. Zaka's ladies ditch Ampem Dakwa. Now we have other stories here. Brekum Chelsea holds cities at Elwak. And Adriana Pip Olympics. So we have some scores at a glance at the Ghana Premier League table here. And what are the standings? Let me give you the first 5. Kim Faisal stands at number 1 with 16 points. Diana Star stands at number 2 with 14 points. Ashanti Kotoko stands at number 3 with 13 points. Dreams FC at number 4 with 11 points, tying with Ash Gold at number 5, also with 11 points. And the rest are following. Heart of Oak is at the bottom, 18th of the GPL table. Arose. Let me go into the center spread because this is heartbreaking. Now, okay, I mean the story on the back page is heartbreaking for me. President touts free SHS is success. So details of that story is on the center spread. President, what presents gold awards to 160 young people at head of state awards. Integrity is pivotal in combating illegal mining. And these are stories carried on from the front page of the Guinean Times, the most authoritative newspaper. Grab a copy and read into the details. Now let's look at the Daily Statesman here. ECOWAS leaders urge to fight COVID-19 pandemic. ECOWAS leaders urged to fight COVID-19 pandemic. And just when we thought that we were getting over COVID-19, Omicron pops up and says, "Hey, what's up? I'm still in the building. Do not forget me." I wish I could rap on that, but my rap game, I dropped it somewhere. Now, this story is on page 2 of the Daily Statesman. ECOWAS leaders urge to fight COVID-19 pandemic. And this will not be a fight for the ECOWAS leaders alone. If we citizens do not oblige, do not observe, refuse to get vaccinated, and also let our guards down, thinking that COVID has become a thing of the past. A new variant has popped up, the Omicron variant, somewhere in November, and it seems to want to threaten our Xmas celebrations yet again. It's quite sad, but better we stay alive now than be sorry dying later on, isn't it? Well, I believe that you agree with me. Let's go on to page 2 again. Integrity key to efficient mining sector regulation, says the Lands Minister. Now, this is captured in almost all of the papers that I have read already. AG to enact law on conduct of public officers. The Attorney General to enact law on conduct of public officers. And the big story here, I'm proud of free SHS results. President Akufo-Addo indicates, we have a picture of him inspecting a guard of honor during the 70th anniversary of Tamale Secondary School. The story is on page 2, and you will grab a copy for yourself if you want to read into the details. I beg your pardon. Steven Gerrard, what's he saying? Liverpool fans pay homage, but legend uninterested in sentimental return. So a picture here which is captioned, Steven Gerrard was warmly applauded by Liverpool fans when he entered the stadium. Another story here, Crystal Palace in the Vera fears disaster if COVID-19 variant forces football behind closed doors. It's quite a scare. It's quite a scare. We should all be concerned. Now, the big story here, okay, sorry, the center spread has some more stories. Reconsider withdrawal from AOMC. Scopel appeals to Goyle. COVID-19 trade-related response measures still in effect, says a World Trade Organization report. COVID-19 trade-related response measures still in effect. Grab a copy. We have some Petroleum Consumer Watch details, safety tips for motorists at the filling station. These messages and information we obviously need in our everyday lives. Will sum it that way for the Daily Statesman and jump onto the New Crusading Guide here. On page 10, Dr. Richard Kofi Siedu and others honored at Ghana Leadership Awards 2021. Now, integrity is pivotal to regulating the mining sector, again captured here by the Lands Minister. Another story here, Yao Amwating Efriye appointed Deputy CEO of GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Council, GIPC. And another one here, Operation Clean Your Frontage Drivers Ready for Action. Operation Clean Your Frontage Drivers Ready for Action. And I pray that we all partake in these operations. Now, from time immemorial, presidents past have tried to institute several activities to see to the cleanliness of our environments. Now, as the traditional settlements segregates into more urban centers and more residential areas, we seem to be breaking away from the traditional concept of communal labor, where citizens or members of a community join in together to clean the communities. Now, people are sparsely scattered across. And so wherever you find yourself, do not depart from that good knowledge and good culture that tradition had instilled in us. Now it has become a national issue. And so let us all partake in Operation Clean Your Frontage. The reluctance, especially when it comes to cleaning, I remember those days when the first Saturdays or so of the month were dedicated to cleaning. You'll find these market women sitting in front of their shops doing nothing until the time for reopening their shops is due. I pray that we don't inculcate the same attitude and behavior in Operation Clean Your Frontage. We are in the times of IGP Dr. Dampare, and if you don't comply, maybe the IGP and his team should see to it that people comply. I know my people, fellow Ghanaians. Steven Gerrard made a losing return to Anfield. That's in Sports Crusade, the penultimate page of the New Crusading Guide. Albert Beniage, ex-Barcelona Academy chief, faces sex abuse claims. Ronaldo gave Man United a narrow victory over Norwich. And that's it for the New Crusading Guide. Some other stories in the center spread. Do grab a copy for yourself. Now, let me jump onto the last paper that I have here. The Chronicle newspaper, the true independent Mkondo with Sizwe Spear of the Nation, says that CJ wants judges equipped to deal with maritime cases. Over the weekend, the Chief Justice, Justice Eninyeboa, indicated that lawyers and judges should equip themselves if there is a need for retraining or to re-educate themselves in maritime law so that they can deal with the emanating maritime cases, especially about cases on piracy in the country. Piracy is becoming one of the bane of our current existence. Vessels being captured and all that. The Ministry for Fisheries and Aquaculture has also indicated that they were going to institute a marine police to also deal with some maritime issues. This is coming from the CJ. He wants judges to be equipped to deal with maritime cases. The story is on page 8 of the Chronicle newspaper. Another story here, which is captured on page 12, details in there. Odiniho determined to unseat Chairman Wontumi. Odiniho Kweku appear Ashanti Regional NPP Chair hopeful. He's hoping to unseat Chairman Wontumi. President elated over free SHS success story. And this is the big story for the Chronicle. It says protecting water bodies and environment. Bonanza for illegal miners. Robust alternative livelihood scheme to put cash in their pockets in the pipeline. The story is on pages 2 and 3 of the Chronicle newspaper. And that's it for the front page. Let's look at the back page of the Chronicle again. King Faisal beats Sharks to go to top. 11 Wonders share spoils with Dreams FC. Mediama shock RTU Real Tamale United in Tamale. Karela United thump Accra Lions. And Lomachenko outclasses Richard Comey in New York. That's it for sports on the back page of the Chronicle newspaper. Let me quickly peep into the center spread. Asona clan wins 40-year-old Besiase stool dispute against Oyoko. Details of the CJ's will or bid to have the judges equipped to deal with maritime cases has the details in here. Human rights issues are evolving, says Varsity Don. And another one here, government to review school curriculum to include active play-based learning. And this is by Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Edichum. Several reforms being made to school curricula only to ensure that the students get the best of education when they find themselves in school. And let me say that the current administration is doing much about education in the country, especially adding SHS to the basic education to ensure that the minimum that a Ghanaian could get in terms of education would at least be SHS education. A good move. Let's also see to dealing with the challenges and some of the examination results. I beg your pardon, I almost missed the Bible quotation from the Chronicle newspaper today. Jeremiah chapter 29 verses 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And that's a psalm for the Chronicle, Jeremiah 29:11. This is it for the newspaper headlines segment. Certainly there are other newspapers out there. Obviously, when you visit the stands, you will find some of them. And this is what we have for you. Go out there, grab some papers and read into them. A few of these topics will be selecting and digesting them with the political guests when they come into the studios. Until then, do enjoy. We'll be right back after this break.
CB will make up now. I'm a go correct. What's your best, Mancasa? That's it. Oh, middle. He comes us back on CB men capsules. Missy CB men capsules and I make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew me that and 1 year packaging I had a.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do pegi.
Share up him for any about town man kwadano for. Any kwadano go di fie do ye. Enka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man be man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
As a child is born, Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. Come join Adoatv Television as we celebrate our guest for Christmas with hymns and carols. Date is 17th December 2021. Time is 5:30 p.m. sharp, and the venue is the Holy Trinity Cathedral Anglican Church Car Park on the Accra High Street. Invited guests include Right Reverend Dr. Daniel Silvanus Mensah Torto, Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Accra, Her Excellency Stephen Sullivan Sanders, USA Ambassador to Ghana, Her Excellency Janet Grace Mason, South African High Commissioner in Ghana, and many other dignitaries. Music performances, TMQ from Tema, Minister Terry Johnson, and Reverend Father Ebenezer O.K. Clotty. Remember, there will be a fundraiser to support orphanage homes this Christmas, so kindly come and support this worthy cause. Adoatv's 9 lessons and carols. Oh, let us out. Christ our Savior is born. Remember, all COVID-19 protocols will be observed.
Water, but you're not getting your mouth. And that's all I'm about to order. You are fired.
Malaria and tea. But you are yet to bono.
What you have to think
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo. Ashrin customers. When you say, Mammy, I am smart. Upper CB Malakio. I'm money buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a pianisi berry market ni malaria and tea. I want to mean. And now Emma will be around to walk. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And better one. And the CB Malagio. You didn't know. And now I can't bomb as soon as I CB Malagio. And no way so dear. And I don't grow. I yet tata shit.
A drawing near my appeal for about a woman for any quada won't fear doing.
Susiana, what would you with
FD Ashesha Sa Ejedi Enkrato Imu Adia to Muse Eye.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 05092 57754 020 9494 258 or visit our marketing decks at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Hello, Ghana. Hello, everyone. Greetings to you from Adoatv. Christmas is here again, and we are ready to receive our Lord Jesus to make merry with family and friends and all our loved ones. But what of the underprivileged and the homeless? Well, good news is Adoatv is visiting orphanage homes this festive season to celebrate the birth of Christ. And as the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 19 verse 17, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord. We humbly ask you to partner us, put smiles on the faces of these underprivileged ones this Christmas, and God will bless you. Kindly send all cash donations to MTN mobile money number 0591 557789 with the name Adra Media Consult. Call us on 0246 375 837 to pick all other donations. God richly bless you as you give to support the underprivileged this Christmas.
Give them the best love you can. Save a child today. Give them the best meal you can. Set the future today. Cause the best of
Wow, many thanks for staying with us. You're watching AM Ghana here on Adoatv Television. My name is Reginald Adi, and welcome back. I indicated, obviously, that we were going to transition into the newspaper review segment. Told you we'll be speaking on some of those particular topics in the newspapers. Topical amongst them is the president's pronouncement of his fulfillment about the free SHS. And he says that critics would have an egg on their face by now. My guests in the studio don't have any eggs on their faces. They're fine gentlemen. Mr. McLean Ajokache speaking for the National Democratic Congress, and Mr. Alexander Tete speaking for the New Patriotic Party. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to AM Ghana. How are you doing? Let me start with Mr. McLean.
Good morning. I'm doing well.
I like that smile that you're wearing this morning. What? Are you mimicking somebody's laughter this morning?
Am I doing what?
Are you mimicking somebody's laughter this morning?
Oh, probably because I don't want to toe a line this morning, so I need to be happy.
Oh, right. How was your weekend in
Randy, very interesting. Full of.
I understand. Let's go.
Reggie. Very interesting. They'll be full of sad but celebration, because the people we lost and have to bury our old men and women, which is a celebration of life. So yes, we'll mourn, but within the mourning, it is allowed. It's time for them. So it's cool.
Well, it's all good.
Yeah.
I would say that may the souls of all persons who have departed rest in peace. Over the weekend, there was a bad tragedy.
Yeah.
That really hits me. One of the representatives for Ms. Gamashi here in Accra lost her life in a very tragic motor accident around the Mamprobi Matters of Uganda area.
Oh.
And this is somebody who's had a lot of life. She, very exuberant, very lively, let me put it that way. She's always been against motor vehicles. We don't know how come she decided to board a motor vehicle that day at around 1 a.m. The unfortunate incident happened. And I'm praying that no more lives should be lost. I mean, in as much as it's inevitable, we all pray to have life, especially when the person is a young one. May her soul rest in peace. My condolences to her family, to all the faces of Gamashi and all the ladies who have been through the pageants, the organizers, the president of the Gamashi youth. Condolences to you. Alex, I hope you don't tell us about any further death.
Well,
how was your weekend?
Unfortunately, I'll have to say so.
Anyways, let's hear you and perhaps extend our condolences.
Very well. A very big good morning to our cherished viewers, including yourself, the production crew, and everybody that is watching us this morning. And the weekend hasn't been so lively because I had to bury one instance, I would say a former police station chairman who has been very active, a former assembly member of the Adan East Assembly. We'll have to bury him over the weekend. And I think that it's so bad at that age, no other old in his late 50s, just have to go like that. It's a pity. Then again, I'm also preparing to bury a sister, a lively sister, that I passed on last month. We spoke, I met her on Saturday. Sunday in the morning, I spoke with her. Before Monday, she's gone. And it's something that really hurts me, that maybe in the course of the week, we will have to see her off as well. So I think the week hasn't been so good. And then I pray that the good Lord himself knows why some of these things occur. We as carnal human beings will be worried, will be much devastated, but I think that the good Lord himself knows why. And then we give thanks. He says that in everything we should give thanks to his name. So that is been the week.
Well, I didn't want us to start a Monday in a week like this, but I mean, it's inevitable. I said earlier, they say that the only constant thing in this world is change, and the only sure thing that we know about tomorrow is that we may not wake up to it. And so it's just right that we celebrate life whilst we have it, and also show love. I spoke about love early on when I was opening the show. For we Anglo-Catholics, we are in the season of Advent, which is all about love, which is all about preparing the way for the very person who came in to show love by dying for our sins. And so it's all about love this season. And we here at Adoatv have decided to help some orphanages by donating some items to them. Come Friday, we'll be having a night lessons in carols. We'll be having some wonderful guests passing through. We have the Lord Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Accra. We have the United States of America's ambassador to Ghana. We have Rwanda's ambassador to Ghana. We have South Africa's ambassador to Ghana. And on this note, gentlemen, I'm officially inviting you because we'll be raising funds to support the orphans. I'm re-echoing this because we've all started on that note of, sad incidences over the weekend. I was expecting to hear, because if you ask Mary Texan, her weekend was so smooth. It was nice. Enjoyment from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't think she has these problems. And I think that this should be the essence of life. Whilst we have it, we should enjoy. Xmas, whilst we are going to be chewing Tolu, what we have. These children, if we don't help them, who would? So, Mr. Ajokache, Friday, I should be seeing you at the forecourt of the Bishop's Court, 5:30 p.m. By then, you would have done all your daily rounds.
Sure.
You would have also dealt with, other issues.
Friday.
And I know that, yes, Friday. Come Friday. And I know that, Alex, your wife is very understanding. She will even come with you So we're expecting to see the two of you over here. God bless you guys so much. Macklin, you wanted to say something in relation to that? Briefly.
Yes, I wanted to say that the good news is that we are alive. Though all other things happened, the good news is that we are alive. I also had mine was mixed celebration and the sadness.
So you
over the
more,
weekend.
You chill small.
Yes.
So when you go to the funeral, then go to the Gbonyo party.
I know. On Friday, the Asian African Forum awarded my company as the best emerging enterprise of the year 2021.
Wow! Congratulations to you.
So, and I happen to be the CEO of that company. So it brought a lot of celebration and merrymaking. So I want to use this opportunity to thank members of the Escalate group of companies, especially the cooks. Because they have to always be on their feet cooking for my guys. I have a football team.
Oh, I see.
And then my boss, Malvin Kwame Tete, popularly known as BK, is the one that is investing into the sport. So anywhere the boys are, the cooks have to be there. And
anyways,
so
congrats to you and your team.
Yeah.
And Alex, you also, whatever venture you are into, I mean, you survived from the beginning of the year up until now. Congratulations to you. And let me say congratulations to the entire team of AM Ghana. We've done this from the beginning of the year and up until now.
Sure.
It's been years running and we are still running. Let's go into the matters right about now. So we heard from the president over the weekend when he went to Tamale, Tamale Senior High School. First of all, let me say kudos to Tamale Senior High School. Their performance in the just ended NSMQ was amazing. They had just one student who was exceptional.
Yeah.
He was exceptional. And for me, he was the threat from the get-go. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, we met them at a point and they did us good. They showed us.
You met them as in who?
I won't tell you. At this point, I won't tell you. I won't tell you. It's all good. I mean, Tamale Senior High School.
They took your pride off, eh?
Oh, no, not at all. They can't take our pride off. Okay, so, I mean, if you bring pride in, then I'll mention. They took Additional College out at a point.
I know, definitely.
Yes, and I must say, it was amazing because, you know, mostly the competition seems to be between the schools in the coastal belts, the Cape Coast schools and the Greater Accra schools. But Tamale did his bit, and in fact, they showed us some great wonders, although they couldn't make it to the finals, thanks to God. That's just aside on the lighter note. So the president over there, and let me indicate that that's the vice president's alma mater. So when I'm speaking about that, I should be careful. Small, you see. Now we are in the era of Dampa. If you don't speak, you don't speak well, you can be picked up. So the president indicated that he is happy about free SHS and, you know, the results that has come forth from free SHS. He says that the results of the UWASE candidates is not what many Ghanaians are touting it to be. That if you listen to the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Educhun, he has also indicated that there was a dip in the performance of this year's WASE results. If you compare that to last year, I mean, last year it was an overall great pass. Everybody had made it. But this year, you go all over social media, you find one individuals making the 8 A's as opposed to last year. And last year, we had the 8 A's almost everywhere. Almost everybody with 8 A's. But this time, it's not so. You see and you hear students crying. And I know some students who, you know, have decided to hide the results. Who is on top of cases in the country at this moment? Is it the president or the Minister for Education when it comes to education? McLean.
Thank you. And let me now say good morning to yourself, our cherished viewers, and the NDC and my family, the Ajokache family. Yes, the president has his right to speak as a citizen. There is no doubt about that. But my little issue with this whole issue of touting and beating your chest on the performances of this student it's as though in the educational history and educational journey of the country, we had never had this type of performances before.
That's not true.
Exactly. So you can't say that because of free SHS, students have performed. Even before free SHS, there had been great performances, far better than this one. So probably the context that the president is putting it is what some of us will have problem with, as though this is the best WASSCE results that we are seeing. Nevertheless, if you fail to fetch clean water from the riverside, you can never wear a white shirt like this without stain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different side of the white shirt proverbs.
You can wear only other shirts.
Take us through again. Take us through again. If you fail to
So if you fail to fetch clean water from the riverside, there is no way you can wear a white shirt without stain.
Okay, I think it's a relevant proverb in these times, especially when you consider how bad our water bodies have become as a result of galamsey. Obviously, you can't wash your white shirt with that kind of water. I understand.
So, if the president wants us to give him credit holistically, we want to see the end point of the graduates. How many of them are we taking into the tertiary? What is the contribution of that sect of Akufo-Addo's government or graduates to national productivity? That is how I am looking at the impact of the free SHS on the Ghanaian economy. I won't sit here and say that free SHS is bad. It's something that we would all work towards to maintain. So when criticisms are coming or critiques are being put, the president and the management of the free SHS should welcome it, but not always coming up to sing praises by themselves. A man who prepares his own food and boasts of its sweetness do not have the intelligence of a proper cooking. Allow other people to taste the food. Then they will tell you that this food, the food is good.
All right, McLean, let me hear from Mr. Tete. Mr. Tete, it's sad. I mean, I don't have to hit over it again and again. But the passes that we are hearing of, apart from the students of Addis-Ababa College, the contestants and the team that went for the NSMEQ, 5 of them coming out with 8 A's. The other school, they didn't get it like that. You see, you only get it in Addis-Ababa. Those who did not get to go to Addis-Ababa to make those 8 A's and are crying. Alex, what do you have to say to them? The president says that this is the best results ever.
Surprisingly, this your hitting on Addis-Ababa thing.
I am citing. Alex, I am citing.
So you could have said that schools like Addis-Ababa.
Yes, I said schools like
Addis-Ababa. It is looking as if it is only Addis-Ababa.
I'm not saying that. I mean,
reality. Fact of the issue is that
Francisca Lamini, she also did
right. It is. But
if she was a male, she would have been in Addis-Ababa. No two ways about it.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
If she was a male, she would have been in Addis-Ababa. Why can't I say that?
Look, I don't know what is so special about this. Let me tell you. When I was in university, all those Addis-Ababa boys that I had in my class, some of them are watching me. They are my close friends. None of them ever, been ahead of me in performance. I'm telling you. So it's not about going to. It's not about It's not about.
It's okay.
Coming from Addis Ababa or this or this. No.
You see what Alex is
all
saying?
Of us cannot go. It's marketing.
I don't want to. All of us cannot go to Addis Ababa. Hold on.
And unfortunately, you see, all of us cannot go there. There's a lot of out over there. When you go to Pre-Sec Lego, the number of, I have a colleague who teaches over there. The number of people who had 8 is something that is oh, please, let's not go there. You're this.
I beg you.
Chant on Addis Ababa. It's something.
You see,
so let's go
that's
to
how great we are.
Let's go to the
when you hear a name, then you start fumbling. You start.
That is not true. That is not true. I didn't go to Addis Ababa and I have nothing towards Addis Ababa. The school I attended, I love it so much.
Yes,
and
I know.
think I'm proud
you
of it.
can only mention it as the school.
We have to compel you to mention Addis Ababa because when you started, you said it.
Okay, I won't mention
so
it.
That is what it is.
So, I won't mention again. But you see, it's Addis Ababa College.
Well,
that's all. Let's continue.
The president of the state definitely will have to talk on issues. So, at the 70th anniversary of Tamale Secondary School, Tamale Secondary School, he just took the opportunity to tell Ghanaians what has transpired within that period, because it was within that period when the WASSE results were released. So there will not be any better opportunity or platform for the president to tell Ghanaians how the WASSE result came up to be. So I am surprised in your line of questioning by saying that this wasn't the best as but we are told by WAEC that it is one of the best results so far that has been released, and it's so clear. The evidence are there to attest to that fact. I think that if this result that was released, if it had been the other way around, where there's been abysmal failure in it, I think that people will be castigating the government for having implemented the free SHS, which has culminated in the people, in the students failing at that rate. But once it has not been so, it is just proper for the president to tell Ghanaians that it is not all doom out there, because we know that since the inception of this free SHS, there have been a lot of talk about it, especially after the introduction of the double track system. And these people happen to be the pioneers of the double track system. So the way people were talking, it is as if to expect that things were not going on well, and for that reason, the rate at which the student will perform will not be so very good, as it were. But it turns out to be the other way around. And for that matter, if it were to be the other way, that you'll be castigating the president for introducing it. So we should be able to also tell people that it is not all doom out there, that the free SHS has not come to, as people are portraying it, to spoil our educational system or our second cycle institution. But in a way, it has come to give a lot of opportunity and chance to people who hitherto couldn't afford to go to secondary school, but now have the ability to attain. It has come to, erase people from their poverty state. Because look, growing up, one of the things that I knew that was happening within my community is that anytime anybody complete the elementary school and wants to go to secondary school, if there's no money, there's no way you can go. Even if you will go, what normally happens is that your family will have to sell certain properties of theirs in order to invest in their education. In some other instances, you go to a whole community, and the community will have to contribute from bits and pieces from the people among the community in order to send at least one of the community members to secondary school. But today, as we are speaking, it is not so. And therefore, it has given the opportunity for people who hitherto couldn't get the opportunity to go to Addis Ababa, who couldn't get the opportunity to go to Pre-Sec, who couldn't get the opportunity to go to Ghanata Secondary School, who couldn't get the opportunity because of poverty. Today, as we are speaking, they've all gotten that opportunity to go. And so, if the result that came out is not so abysmal as people were expecting. And then the president took the opportunity to tell Ghanaians that no, this is, I mean, he's the number one communicator for the government. The president is the number one communicator for the government because he get daily briefings and what have you. Unlike we, these communicators, we don't get food. And therefore, if he comes to stand, he take the opportunity to tell Ghanaians that indeed, what has transpired over the period and people were having doubting Thomases about it, that the double track system has come to destroy our educational structure, and that, for that matter, performance is going to be low and what have you. It's not actually so. And therefore, I think that nobody should begrudge the president for saying this at the time that he said it. It is well in line.
So I want to quickly ask you, who is really on top of matters, as I asked McLean, because the president's data, as he announced over the weekend, I want to touch specifically on mathematics. It says 54.11% recording A1 to C6 in mathematics as compared to 33.12% in 2016. So you realize that most of the comparison is to 2016. I don't know why the comparison is to 2016, because in 2016 we didn't have free SHS. We didn't have double track. And let's care to note that this 2021 batch is the first, and they are the pioneers of the double track system. And so why not compare? In all his comparison, I'll take you through. The students, he says that 54.08% of students recording A1 to C6 as opposed to 51.6% in 2016. Now, in integrated science, 65.70% recording A1 to C6 as opposed to 48.35%. 54.11, I've mentioned mathematics, 66.03% in social studies as compared to 54.55% in 2016. And it goes on and on and on. Yeah. Now, why the comparison to 2016? I would understand if you tell me that the comparison is on the basis of pre-free SHS and not post, but in times of free SHS. But then, since 2016 to now, how long has it been? 5 years. If we are to grow, all right, in the quality of education, the average percentage increase of passes in the subjects, should it be the margins that we are having now? That should be the question.
Certainly, the margins is not something that you can predict or preempt. And then the end result is what justified means. And then where the question we are asking, why the comparison to 2016 yes. and not the other, I think you answered it yourself by saying that no, 2016 there was nothing like it. Free SHS was introduced in 2017. Is that not the case? Right. And then 2018, 2019 academic year, there was introduction of the double track system. Now, all the comparison, if you mean to do a comparative analysis with the after the introduction of the free SHS, you wouldn't be doing anything. At least to me, is a bit excuse me to say sensible. But then you know there has been a lot of
that have been the case.
No,
we had the first batch of free SHS beneficiaries last year. Why not the comparison of last year's event to 2016? Because this is a clear contrast. Second year into free SHS graduates, and we are still comparing to 2016. What are we doing to ourselves?
What we are doing to ourselves is that
to 2020.
What we are doing,
how well we have grown.
What we are doing to ourselves is that since the introduction of the free SHS, you know my friend Adoatv, right?
Yes.
And his colleagues, they have been on the ascendancy, or they have been on this notion that this has rather come to destroy our education system, and then for that reason we should have taken time in order to introduce it, and then the rush into introducing it has caused a lot of damage to our educational system. So if it is still turning out that at the point where there was an introduction of free SHS, this is the performance that was going on, and then at the point where free SHS has been introduced, this is the performance. I think it's well for us to get the grief that indeed the free SHS, as we are touting, has not, as my people have been saying from the other side of the political divide, have been saying that it has come to destroy our educational system or what have you. It is not actually so, but rather it has been, rather there has been an increment in terms of the passage rate in it, and I think that that is what the analysis or the comparison of the president seeks to clarify for us to all to know that the way our other opponents have been touting it as coming to destroy it is not actually so, and it's rather, well, yes, you may have problem with the margin, the rate at which the passage is. Maybe you may be expecting that you should be having 70-80% passage rate and what have you. Yes, it's a legitimate call to make, but I think that over the period there has been an increasing trend of the passage, and going forward, I think it will even be better if we try to put our things together and then try to work holistically and collectively. We all put our effort into it. I think we'll get it. We'll get it.
All right. Well, Mr. McLean, what do you think about the approach, in comparison, especially when we've done a second year in free SHS graduates to 2016 when there was no free SHS?
Randy.
Reggie. I'll charge you the next time. Let's go.
Reggie, you see, in these recent times, it has become excessively difficult for you, a communicator of the NPP, to defend them. 2, you cannot compare free SHS to a non-free SHS time. At least you have 2019 and 2020 batch and 2020 and 2021 batch. So these are 2 badges of which are all free SHS. So your comparison at this time should be on your improvement on the previous free SHS result. Why then would you go to the extent of comparing your result to after 5 years?
But that was the basis I gave you.
No,
I'll come there after 5 years. Don't forget that education needs improvement every second. Education needs improvement. So if we improved 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2021, and we are 5 years away from 2016, and you are now going to compare your performance now to 2016, are you a serious government? Are you a serious government? And to your information, the NDC had never called any press conference to state that free SHS is a bad policy. You can prove to me now with at least one press conference that was addressed either by the National Communication Officer of the NDC, the General Secretary of the NDC, or the senior communication members on a platform to say, or by John Dramani Mahama, that free SHS is bad. I remember what Sami Jenfi, General Secretary Asedu Nketia, John Dramani Mahama, what they said was that free SHS is progressive. A reason why the NDC started the progressively free SHS. So the NPP, wanting to achieve a political goal, are forcing their way through. And let me tell you that it is because of the consistency of the NDC to serve as what watchdog is what pushes this government into fixing some of the performances and some of the challenges that the free SHS is going through. You were in this country when you went ahead to buy past questions. Government buying past question for students to study.
What is wrong with that?
I'll give you the analysis to that effect.
We are all
let me tell you.
These are things we buy with our own money. So if the government
yes,
bought it for these students, I don't see.
You see, let me tell you, when you live in a community and water is at a place where everybody can just go and fetch. If you decide to wake up and take pan and fetch and come and pour in my barrel, it's not something that you have done so miraculously and you should be clapped for.
You should use the burden of myself going there, walking there, facing dangers on the road, fetching the water.
Wouldn't it be wise rather that you channel that energy and the money you have into probably creating an irrigation system that the water comes close to the entire community, that anybody at all can dash there? The reason why I'm saying this is that, let me tell you, the reason why I'm putting this thing is that, Reggie, look, buying past question for students whose teachers are not having textbooks, you call that thing, excuse my word, sensible?
Okay, now I'm
buying past question for students whose teachers do not have syllabus, you call that sensible? Okay. Is that what you are telling us? The school that we have gone through over time, that you and I cannot appreciate systems and advise government? Then NEC comes out and say that no, give that money, rather use that money to print textbooks. You can also reduce. Those are, I mean, constructive criticisms that an opposition is supposed to give to a government. So if you come out to say that you are coming to compare your result to 2016, look, it's just like you are comparing a living man to a dead man.
Right.
How? My grandfather that has passed on, he has done the best he could do by giving birth to my father.
When you say that, it means that there is no need for comparison at all.
It's not about there is no need for comparison. That is why I'm using my grandfather, not my father.
Okay.
If your grandfather dies and you fail to bury him, it's not your shame. But if your father dies and you fail to bury him, that is your shame.
All right.
You get what I'm saying? So if they want to compare, they should not. There is not even need for this comparison, but rather they should give us the improvement and in the success of the free SHS after the first batch. Now that we have the second batch result, it's because the second batch result is abysmal. Comparing it to the first one, they come out and the only way they can throw a public relation jinx in our eyes and probably to convince Ghanaians is to come and start comparing to even the same comparison that you are doing. It is not all subjects that your Akufo-Addo graduates have performed better than the Mahama administration. If they are men, then they should go back to 2015, 2014, 2012 thereabout. There are results there that are far better than this free SHS result. On the other line, the comparison you are doing today, if you take science and you are comparing 2021 science to 2016, if we go to other courses or other subjects in the SS, we call it subject, probably there might be performances better than this one. So he shouldn't come out to be saying things that are meant for other people to say, and we'll be waiting for him to come and say. So the president chested himself with this achievement that are not relevant.
Why are they not relevant?
They are not relevant because they are not something that will have grave impact on the economy of Ghana. One. Two.
The education, kindly buttress.
The comparison you will do, okay, that free SHS 21 is better than SHS 2016. Okay. What is its impact? What will we get from that? It will only favor the political class, of which even it is not sensible comparison for you to do.
When he was lamenting, when he was making his point over here, clearly it shows clearly that he's not comfortable with the free SHS thing, and it is on the basis of some of these thoughts that is why the president will have to come out and then expose them that from his submission it clearly shows that probably they would have wished that a worse performance rather than this should be what should have been recorded, so that for all what they have been saying, that the negativities that they've been saying about free SHS would then come to bear that indeed we have said it, and this is what has resulted into it, and therefore we are justified by saying whatever that we have said. If today, per their understanding, per their thinking, or what they want it to be, has not come to realization, and the president is touting that as an achievement, as something that is good, they still have an issue with it. And for me, I don't just doubt the NDC at all. For me, anything I know, they are there to criticize. So there is nothing the president will say. There is nothing the president will say that they will never criticize. And for me, I welcome any criticism that they make. But if you are making a criticism, it must be objective. It must be, I mean, excuse me to say, very sensible, so that you say that no, what you are criticizing is out of love and not out of sheer political rhetoric, so that we are saying it. So for me, I don't see anything wrong at all with the president mounting the podium to tell Ghanaians that let us compare our result of what was released in 2021 to that of 2020, because the most critics about this free SHS is the NDC. So we want to take their performance when they were in power, because they supervised the writing of the WASI in 2016.
Is that to say that, I mean, people who criticize the free SHS policy are NDC people? Now, this is where the unfortunate happens. What statistics do you have to indicate that it's, I mean, because personally I have criticized
right from the inception of the introduction of this free SHS, we've heard things that were they said, okay, so that it is not possible, that it can be possible in the next 20 years. That is, these were things that they said right from the onset of the free SHS. So if today, in the midst of all those utterances, in the midst of all those doubting these things, the free SHS has come to stay. Definitely, it tells you that these are people who are not very happy about the free SHS, and for that reason, they will want to tell the
in terms of percentage.
Yeah, in terms of percentage.
I am concerned about the margin.
When you take the nominal numbers, is that okay?
Yes.
What it means is that the number of people who sat for the WASI this year is more than the number who sat for 2016.
Certainly.
Right. So if 54% of that number pass, and you take 54% of that number, which also passed in 2016, what it tells you is that in terms of assuming each of them even is 54%, 54%, well, let's assume that the number in 2016 that passed, let's say English, is 54%.
Yes.
The number in 2021 which passed English is also 54%. In terms of real figures, what it means is that the numbers over here is going to be much more than the numbers in 2016. That is a reality.
Obviously, when you look
at it tells you that it has come to add something to it, because numbers have increased.
So what does this mean as well? If the same numbers that sat for this year was the same number that sat for last year, what would have been the percentage increment? This is where I want us to focus on. Would the increments be significant at all?
Yes, it will. It will. Because the number who sat this year, as you were saying, you were quoting, I don't have the real figure, but you were saying that in 2020, the number who passed, the number who sat was around 350,000 thereabouts.
It was below 350. It was 342,000 thereabouts.
Yeah. While the number who sat this year was around 400,000 plus,
yes,
compared to last year.
Yes.
So therefore, even if you are comparing it in terms of nominal numbers, the figures, numbers, no percentage in terms of percentage, let us assume that the same percentage is given to 2020 and 2021. Let's assume that core science, integrated science, for instance, the 2021 is also 60%. What it means is that the number, in terms of real numbers, who would have passed would be much more than the one in 20, because of if you are taking the
assessment. What does this tell you?
It tells me that there is a lot of opportunities have been given to a lot of people who hitherto we didn't have gotten the opportunity to even write this one.
That is not.
But today they have written it and they have passed.
That is not what we are. That is.
That is what it tells
that
me.
is on. Not. I mean, it's undeniable.
Yes.
That's more numbers.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, maybe let me bring it to a bit more technical terms. If you have 5 people, all right, working on a cart, if 5 people pushing a cart, minutes to push it, how many minutes, all right, would you expect that 10 people or 15 people, let's make it 10 people, push the same cart from point A to point B of that same distance?
Certainly, we cannot use that analogy. We cannot use that analogy, but it would have been expected. It would have expected.
We are talking about the nominal figures that we should be looking at.
No. If you are taking your analogy or your this thing, we cannot compare it to the educational thing that we are talking about.
I see.
You understand?
Okay.
We cannot compare it. It's like comparing apple with oranges. But whatever the case may be, what it means is that the number of people who have gotten the chance, the opportunity to write the WASI this year is more than the number who hitherto had the opportunity to write it in 2020, and per that extension in 2016, more people have written and more have passed than them. That is what it tells you. And for that reason, those doubting Thomases that the president is describing as people that will have egg in their face is just true. Per my brother's analysis over here.
But do you think he was fair and constructive with that statement?
Who the cap fits, let him wear it. That is a statement that. So if you think that you are expecting doom for this candidate who wrote a WASI, and today you are doom site it objectively, and you expect that things will change in order to make it better, and it has happened, so then you don't have an egg in your face. Okay. So whoever thinks that
he didn't describe it that way, or perhaps we should say that the president is now throwing shades.
No.
He's throwing shades, casting shades.
No.
Who the cat fits?
Yes. You see, so over the period, and this is it's not undeniable.
Right, Alex,
it is something that we cannot deny.
Alex,
so moving forward, I think that we as a people should rather be, just as my brother was saying, should rather be constructive in our criticism, so that eventually the path that we have taken today is going to lead us to a very greater future. If you think that it is a misguided or is a misplaced priority by putting a lot of money into free estate today, and it's turning out to wait till we get there, and you see that no, it is indeed very proper for you to invest at money.
When are we getting there? When are we expected to get there?
Listen.
So wait till we get there. When are we getting there?
My brother, when he was making the submission, he made mention of the fact that we should be judging. Is that what we said? Based on the people that will be admitted into the tertiary institutions and what have you. So he's even in the first place. The number of people who have passed, he's even doubting it. That we are not going to be able to admit them into our tertiary institutions and what have you. And that one is going to be a failure on the free estate as a program. And I think that moving forward, the universities over the period have devised ways and means by which they can admit these students into their schools.
Even those with F9.
I mean, the people who
you are vaccinated does not guarantee that you will not come into contact with the virus ever. That's a known caveat.
No, let me tell you this: the vaccine, according to them, if you take the vaccine, that does not mean that you cannot get the COVID again.
Exactly.
That does not mean you cannot be hospitalized.
Exactly.
That does not mean you will not die.
Exactly.
The only thing is that you'll be better off than someone who has not taken it. That is the only thing. But my problem is that we should rather concentrate on educating people on the importance and reason to take this than forcing them. Are you aware that we are passing a law regulation? This regulation is what is going to enforce that without the injection, I can't come to your. I have taken all my 2 shots. Okay, I have taken my 2 shots. But yes, but that does not mean that somebody who is not ready to take should be forced.
Why shouldn't he be ready to take? Why shouldn't they be ready?
But no, injection should not be by force. It should not be by force, my brother. Not even in the US, not even in the United Kingdom.
When your personal refusal could put other people at higher risk,
If I'm not, this is not politics.
No, this is not politics.
It's about reality.
Yes.
If I'm not vaccinated, I should be able to stay at home and not travel. It means that I'm blocking my own chances of going to places. Finish. The system should rather be so strict that you check your card, you are not vaccinated, you don't get into the place. Even if something is wrong with you,
that would also pose other challenges. Are you sure?
No, what challenge?
Are you sure that
if you know the consequences, you go through when you fail to take the injection, you will take it because you know that it will be a burden or a hindrance to you, the individual.
You see, I live by one policy and one policy. Listen, I live by one policy when I'm dealing with fellow human beings. That human beings are emotional beings and not rational beings.
Good.
All right. So when you want to put logic that the moment, yes, how many people are responsible for the actions?
No, so now my question is that
we all know that when you find yourself in public spaces, you should wear nose masks. How many are wearing? Are you saying that those people that don't wear the nose mask, even in public transport, they don't go ahead to board public transport? How? Look at the ratio of policing to citizen. How can we ensure that these people are being checked before sitting? Even the driver who is supposed to check.
It is not getting my problem.
No, I'm not happy about the statement that those who don't want to be vaccinated shouldn't be forced.
No, but why would you force somebody to be vaccinated?
Do we force people to
this is morally and legally wrong.
Are they forced to come into contact with COVID-19?
I don't get your question.
Those people who get COVID-19, are they forced?
Who forces you to go and sit at Osu Gata where there is mosquitoes, anopheles mosquito that will give you malaria?
But then
who forces you to go and sit
there? They still go to hospital, don't they?
You go to hospital.
So when you get malaria, you go to hospital.
So you yourself should be sensible as human being in life to know that going to sit here, you see snake there, and you know that if snake bite you, you can die. Then you say that because there is no law prohibiting me from walking around snake, I am going to walk through snake.
That's why we put laws in there, so that when you walk around snake, it bites
you. Any man who sees snake and goes through and is thinking that there is no law, so I'm going to walk through snake, then that man has to be looked at twice.
You can give that as a very comfortable excuse.
But
I wonder if it will hold.
You see, no, the problem is that even my greatest problem is about the companies that are producing these vaccines, that they are indemnified. You cannot, even government cannot sue these companies when we have adverse effect in the country. Now you government, which I, the citizens of this country, can only hold responsible. You are also being indemnified again. Then it means that as for me, I don't have any option. When I take the injection and anything at all happen, I should just take it in such a fit. No, let us prove to Ghanaians, or let us prove from production, that is the company, to government, that look, this thing is not a joke, and they must also do a proper. That's I'm speaking to you. India.
2 minutes. Well,
India like this.
We can go on and on.
Yes,
and on.
India like this. They have refused to take this injection.
That's why they will not travel. That's why now they will not travel.
So if you don't take the injection, you don't travel. It will affect your business, not government's business.
Okay.
So don't force us.
Okay.
The law that my problem is the law.
Okay.
You get it.
But he's saying don't force us off, but he has taken two shots.
Next time when I'm coming, I'll bring my card for you to know that I have taken my. So it is not that it's a campaign against the vaccine.
So I think it is hypocritical.
I think
it is hypocritical that you would take the vaccine and then sit on TV and
but how can you?
Who forced you?
No, yes, that is the question. Nobody forced me. Nobody forced me.
Okay.
So why would you force someone?
It's all right. I am surprised that.
No, it's just a question I'm asking. Like it because let me tell you.
So you are saying that you didn't think about it before you went
I
for the
think,
Yes. You see, my accurate timekeeper is worried.
Ask for my brother.
Alex, you see.
No, ask for the injection.
I'm surprised of the way
everybody
is okay.
Everybody is supposed to take that injection.
It's a legitimate question.
But my question has not been answered.
It's a legitimate question that you are asking.
Yeah.
It's as if by saying again that no, because everybody know what is good, there must not be any law in order to compare the people to what you are saying. That's the implication.
That is not.
It means that what, as a rational human being, you should know that this thing is wrong. So you wouldn't go and do it. If the law, you have a law that regulates the injection of yellow fever.
Calm down.
Do you have regulation?
Calm down.
Do you have any law that regulates the taking injection of yellow fever?
One thing that we should
also recognize is the fact that these vaccines that are being given to us have gone through a lot of tests, and then WHO, nobody would doubt when the WHO okays a vaccine that should be given to the world. Nobody doubts it.
100%. I mean,
but there's no organization. There's no organization who has more capacity to be able to okay a particular vaccine than WHO in this whole wide world. And for that reason, if WHO says that no, this vaccine is what is good for us, and because of that, you think that because of the indemnified clause over there against the producers of that thing, it becomes something that is very problematic to us. I think it's unfortunate. Let us try to some of these things. The once you try to promote some of these things, what we are doing is that you are preventing people who hitherto have not taken the vaccine yet to also take a different stand. That we must not be compelled to go and then take the vaccine. You see, I'm not sure that if the law comes into being, the law is going to come to your homes, your rooms, and come and then take you out to. But you will be prevented from getting certain services and what have you. And when you are denied of such services, that is what will make you to go and take the vaccine. And I think that for the law coming into being, it should not be anything at all that we should be having fear about. It is just to alert us that the vaccine is very, very important for us to take. So my brother, please, let us not try. The education is ongoing. It is important. We should educate. Let's educate people that the vaccine is good when you take it. It doesn't take anything away from you. As I'm seated over here, I've taken my 2 jabs. Yes, I've taken my 2 jabs. So I have it over here.
Interesting.
Telling me that you see the seal over here. When you take the second jab, that is when they put this one.
Okay.
So it tells you that I've taken my jab, and I encourage everybody who is watching us this morning that it is important. The Omicron, I'm told, is very contagious more than even the COVID-19, and then
I mean, they are all 19, but
the
previous
variants,
versions
those 2 versions.
Yeah.
I mean, there is very, very, in terms of the rate at which it can be transmissible, it's very, very dangerous. So I'm urging everybody who is watching us today that there is nothing untoward at all going to take the vaccine. And therefore, if the vaccine happens to come to your community, go and take it, and then safeguard yourself against the COVID.
Well, so this is from Alex that said, go take the vaccines to safeguard yourself. The directive has come from the Ghana Health Service that if you happen to be a traveler from especially international communities into Ghana and you have not vaccinated, upon landing into the country, if you are not a Ghanaian, you will be sent back. And if you're a Ghanaian and you haven't vaccinated, you will be forced to vaccinate. And if you test positive for the antigen test, which is conducted at the airport, you would be forced to undergo the 14 days mandatory quarantine, and you will be vaccinated. Bear that in mind. McLean doesn't agree with compulsory vaccination, which I think is fair. If you know that you don't want to be vaccinated, fine. Stay in your confines. Don't dare to travel. Don't dare to go into places that would require your vaccination cards. But in the meantime, I want to advise you. The same McLean who is saying that it's not by force, he is fully vaccinated.
No, what I'm saying that it is a choice, not by force.
It is a choice.
That's all I'm saying.
It is not only the COVID vaccine which is compulsory.
Of course.
Then we have this the 6 killer who disease that they vaccinated. It's compulsory.
Yes.
Once you take your child over here,
anytime I am traveling, these processes or we go through.
I didn't say anything you've
not said. What I'm saying that it is a choice. It is not by force.
Yes.
And my problem is for government, even what that statement is against the 1992 constitution. You cannot force anything on us. It should be by choice. Even education is by choice.
It is not by force.
Even education is by choice. Education that will have direct adverse effect on the country. It's a choice.
I am thinking that
the introduction of the F-cube.
Have you thought about?
It's be compelled. You are compelled. Parents who don't even send their students to school, they can.
This injection is supposed to be by choice.
Education. It's by compulsion now.
Yes,
education is compulsion.
See, let me tell you.
It's fine.
Yes,
now,
but
I was
the injection.
I was thinking that you guys would raise concerns about you're mentioning FQ and all of that. I'm thinking that you guys will raise concerns about the rate of vaccination. If you want to instill such measures, it would have been appropriate when you are sure that a greater percentage of the population is vaccinated. All right? Not every country is like the Canada's that has vaccinated over 70% of its population.
The 1 million they even intended is only 50,000 that is vaccinated.
When you compare our vaccination percentages, we are less than 11%.
No, it is. We are 11%.
The
last
11%, and you are bringing the regulation that will affect 30 million.
And as we are speaking, you know, my sister is a nurse. So they have the vaccines, the AstraZeneca. They have it at their people are no. Because of the thinking of McLean. So people are not going to...
You can't say the thinking of McLean. I have taken my injection. My problem is that, my problem is you cannot force this thing on us. It should be by choice.
So some of the vaccines are getting expired.
And we've spoken extensively on the WASI results. Gentlemen, I'm wrapping up. We've spoken extensively on the WASI results. Now, the concern is about the vaccination. Now, get yourselves vaccinated. I am fully vaccinated. I have my vaccination card. I took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and it's just one jab. But if you're taking the Pfizer, the Sputnik V, and the other vaccines that are in the system, you need 2 shots. So if you've not gone for your second shot, then you are not fully vaccinated. Please ensure. And if you're traveling in and out of the country, also ensure that you are well and fully vaccinated, as well as the other vaccinations and injections that you should get before traveling. The COVID case is becoming severe, and sometimes it appears it is getting out of hand. We were hoping that by 2020, the Nanka Obia free of COVID-19, and unfortunately, Omicron has resurfaced. Let's all be safe out there, and even if you are vaccinated, please be sure to protect yourself. We couldn't bring you the conversation on dental care because our dentist is indisposed at the moment. He has a few people suffering severe toothache that he has to attend to in the wards. And so, as and when he's free, we would have the conversation, and perhaps subsequently in the week's bulletin, we would air that for you. We need you to keep your teeth healthy and alive so that when you smile, like I am smiling to you this morning, you would smile confidently. And when you decide to chill this Xmas as well, you don't bite on your favorite pizza and have pain in your teeth. And on that note, we are inviting you come Friday to the forecourt of the Bishop's Court here in Accra, Johnny Vincent Samuels High Street, where we'll be having our night lessons and carols, and also be raising funds for the children in the orphanage homes. We have a few selected orphanage homes, and very soon you'll be hearing from some of the orphanage homes and management of the orphanage homes and their message for you. My message for you is to stay safe, stay alive, and enjoy the Xmas season responsibly. My guests want to say final words this Xmas. Alex, what do you have for people who are preparing themselves for the Xmas quickly?
I just want to tell them that they should go out there and enjoy. But they should be cautious of the vaccine. All right. Because the time of the COVID, because the times in which are not normal times. All right. Therefore, they should go out there, enjoy themselves, but should be cautious of the COVID.
McLean.
My father said, when you are driving, take it that you are the only reasonable driver.
Great.
So this Xmas, as we will be traveling out of the main city to other places to come back, please, every driver, personally, assume that you are the only sensible driver on the road.
Indeed. Sure. I mean, just imagine. Even if you don't get sense, just imagine that you are the only sensible driver. I believe that drivers are well trained, except for those few because it trans one. Thank you very much for your messages this morning. And this is how we wrap up on AM Ghana today, Monday, 13th December, 12 days more to Xmas. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of our programs here at Adoatv. Thanks for having stayed with us. A big thank you to the production team as well. My name is Reginald Adienanto. See you later in the week. Stay safe.